So as we stare into the abyss, and the abyss stares back with the Attorney Devil in episode 6 of Chainsaw Man, the only thing that comes to my mind is how goddamn good the ending songs have been 6 weeks in a row. And here's the thing. A lot of anime end up getting 6 ending songs. They last multiple seasons, they get 6 ending songs. And fans agree which one's the best, which one's the worst, and I think collectively there's always 1 or 2 ending songs that the fandom's like, you know what, we tend to forget about that one and we talk about maybe like the first Attack on Titan ending or opening, right? But I gotta admit, and here's the thing, I would say ED6 is my least favorite out of the batch. But with that said, ED6 is still a goddamn masterpiece of an ending song, and just the sheer quality of ending songs that we are being blessed with, how both visually they match the tone, the story being told. We're dealing with the Attorney Devil, endless staircases, time that doesn't move, messing with the mind and just dealing with fear. Both ED5 and ED6 perfectly capture that visually, and the almost like 70s, 80s detective horror movie style, like it's kind of what it gives me. It's just absolutely perfect for what the story's telling right now, and I can't wait to see the last half of the batches of these EDs, because they are goddamn masterpieces and nothing short of that in my opinion. Now, full live reaction is available on the Patreon if you want to see today's episode's reaction, that is, and I have to say, I still am being blown away by the way character interactions are being handled in this show. And I think something I've always come to appreciate, especially in the anime medium, is often the slice of life, the general banter, the dialogue scenes that I tend to kind of get pulled towards the most are the ones that are a part of like such a supernatural, unnatural scene. We're dealing with devils, we're dealing with these insane visual things that just could never exist in reality, yet the general banter between characters like Aki and Himeno, and just like those conversations feel so real, so genuine, so honest and raw, that it surpasses a lot of those slice of life series that are just supposed to be general slice of life real interactions, but sometimes feel a lot more contrived, a lot more fake and forced, where this show can have a situation revolving around someone trying to get their partner to start smoking. That scene should not be interesting. That scene should just naturally, how you say, stop trying to get the boy to smoke, it's not good. But the whole concept of, we ain't gonna live long to begin with, it's a social thing, and just the concept of giving that last cigarette, it just gives the impression of like, oh shit, she's probably gonna end up dead, and Aki's gonna be on the receiving end of losing the partner. And just to see the escalation of this episode of just arguably the most chaotic group you could have, trapped for seemingly eternity. Time's not moving, no one will come looking, what are you going to do? Well, you have characters like Denji, who sees it as an opportunity to sleep as long as he wants with no alarm clock to wake him up. You have Power just shitting herself laughing at the fear of some people, and also eating the only food they have. And then you have other characters doing their best to try to figure out how to deal with it. And I love how over the course of this episode, you know damn well Aki's gonna be the one to keep Denji safe. And for me, what I was thinking the reason being was that, well, he's made a promise with Makima. Makima being as manipulative as she is, there's no way he would go on his word if he made a promise to look after and care for Denji, even if he hates him with every fiber in his body. And he very much even like admits to it in this episode, like he does not like the boy. But I like the fact that rather than going with the direction of everyone starts trying to kill him, because ultimately if we give Denji to this creature, we should be okay. Like that's what it wants, the fear takes over, you can see the perspective. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And Aki ends up taking a knife to the side, and the whole reason for that is not because he's like, oh, you know, he's an innocent kid, he got roped into it. No, Aki tried to warn the guy back in the alleyway, and he kicked him in the nuts for trying to be a nice guy. He, at this point, could care less if Denji actually dies, or, you know, he likes him as a friend. The reason he wants him alive right now is because this boy might have a shot at defeating the Gun Devil. And the Gun Devil being as devastating as it was, as we saw in the previous episode, it's no wonder why, for Aki, apparently if he unleashes this sword, it will cut his lifespan down. He can't summon his big move that saved the day an episode or two back, so what can he do other than try to keep this man safe? Hopefully the Chainsaw Devil will be enough. I mean, seemingly the Attorney Devil is scared shitless of the Chainsaw Devil, so I imagine it's going to get cut apart next week. But I like the concept that Aki is willing to lay down his life in this moment, not because he looks at Denji as a friend, a family member, or because of a promise to Makima, who we all know is manipulating the entire goddamn cast to do her bidding. Instead, it comes from a sense of, I have a tragic childhood, this devil that has caused such mayhem on the world, this boy is my key to potentially dealing the finishing blow, and I will gladly give my life to give him the opportunity to do something that I may not be able to do myself, but hopefully we both can go do it together. And I think it goes to show just the type of motivations that drive a man like Aki, and why I continue to say he's best boy. Like, he's just the most normal, I think, out of the cast, and I think the most level-headed in a lot of senses, and the amount of brain cells he loses when dealing with either Power or Denji or them both together is enough to drive most people mad. So for him to take a knife to the side, I like that they gave him a believable reason to protect someone who he clearly doesn't like in any way, shape, and form, and he even admits that really in this episode. The general banter, the general fear, like, everyone had a different reaction to this, and what I thought it was I thought it was like the Fear Devil or like the Time Devil something, because, you know, endless staircase, seemingly they're playing on fears, but Eternity makes a lot of sense, and I think that's definitely powerful. That's something that's been hammered into our brains. Names basically set the stage for a devil, and Eternity is pretty powerful. It's not like you're just simply time, like it's all eternity. And to see the way it messed with things, you know, the endless staircases, you have essentially an endless monster that came out. I mean, last week we saw essentially a humanoid-looking Geodude. I was expecting, oh shit, is it going to be Graveler this week? You know, it's just going to be a big ball walking a little more. Instead, it was a human blob that filled the entire hallway and basically reminded me of different video game sequences, like in Resident Evil 7 at the end when shit just chases you and it fills the whole goddamn screen. They just are doing a great job at selling what these devils are supposed to represent, and they're just so visually distinct, so grotesque, but I think they live up to the names, which sometimes you could look at certain things and just, you say, you know, oh, they're supposed to be the atomic bomb devil, but it's just a little explosion in the background, right? Like, that's how sometimes shit like that happens. But I think with what we've seen, they all live up to their devil names, and I really enjoy how the show is handling character motivations, reactions, personalities first and foremost, rather than just kickstarting into the next crazy fight. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little blue balls at the end. Denji jumps down, he rips the cord. I thought we'd get at least a minute or two of him cutting up some fools. No, they just cut it off there. But that just means you have a good show on your hands, that it makes you so pissed off that the next episode isn't available at your fingertips, and even if they were, eventually you're gonna reach the end of a season and you're gonna have to wait for more anime, right? But either way, like, Chainsaw Man knows what it's doing. It's high quality. Look at the animation when wind blows on characters' hair. Like, there's no need for it to be that refined, that polished, that little attention to detail, but it is. So you add in all those little, almost superficial reasons to like an anime. Good production, great ending songs, good voice acting. But it's the characters and their interactions, and most of these characters I wouldn't want to be friends with, I wouldn't want to interact with. They're just pure chaos. You have Power, who's fine killing people if it means getting her Nobel Prize. She only saves Aki because she wants someone to cook. You have all of these selfish characters, but they're so fascinating to follow, and I love the fact that you have a boy like Aki, man, who just, he gives me that sense of normal, who gives me that sense of you feel where he's coming from, and you can honestly relate to him in a lot of ways in terms of that human desire for what he's doing. And just to see how you have arguably one of the most chaotic groups of characters who shouldn't get along, who are now trapped for eternity, and you see how quickly the backstabbing pops up. And I mean, bless Denji, he got his tit grab. He's now saying, I get my French kiss when this is over. And I imagine if he kills the gun devil, he'll go to Makima saying, like, bitch, please, I want the full package. But I guess we'll see where they take it, right? But either way, leave another episode. Very impressed. I'm loving Chainsaw Man, and I know I'm not alone. So thoughts and feelings and theories, if you got any down below, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. You can also support the Patreon. We got that full live reaction to today's episode available, and you can also get video shoutouts like a few are getting today. So I appreciate the support, Perrin, Karis8894, and PFTD. So thank you so much, and until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.